Giga greetings! What is up, and a very warm welcome to the channel. The sun is hiding and the magpie is still casting. Coming at you guys right now with a live 1 versus 1 battle, fresh from the ladder, featuring spawning in the south. It is going to be the Wehrmacht forces of DerStrandStaubSauger. DerStrandStaubSauger. Wait, one more time. DerStrandStaubSauger. Okay, that was actually a lot more difficult than I thought. DerStrandStaubSauger. I think I'm just going to call him Sauger. Anyway, our boy Sauger here is going to go ahead and pick the Strategic Reserves Doctrine, which is new to me. I do not remember this one at all, so I think it's new. You get Assault Grenadiers, Panzer Ausf J variant, Breakthrough equipment. Pioneers can be equipped with special packages to clear obstacles, while Panzer Grenadiers are granted Model 24 smoke grenades. Okay then, interesting. Mobile observation posts. The 251 half-tracks are capable of camouflaging themselves and acting as observation posts to scout for hostile units. Sweet! I mean, any more reasons to build a 251 I think we are in dire need of, so that's great. And the Tiger Race. Only one is available at a time, and you need the Heavy Panzer Corps to deploy the deploy the Tiger Race now. Wow. So how much does the Tiger Race cost? He costs real money! You actually have to buy him. Wow, that's insane. Okay, 800 manpower, 250 fuel. Geez, whilst I've been like investigating this new commander, there's been stuff happening on the map, and I haven't even introduced our second player, YaguraGakoi, spawning in the north, playing as the USSR forces. So probably just going to call him Gakoi here. So we've got Sauger and Gakoi. Yeah, the map is Lost Glider, a very open map, not, I mean, actually I say that, and then I just like click on the area with loads of line of sight blocking huge tall walls, but a map with open flanks, and not such an open centre, I suppose. Looks like these guys are going to be moving around the map, getting the initial scuffles underway. 2 squads Grenadier, 1 squad Assault Grenadier, going to be the opening build order here for Sauger. Quad Conscript going to be the build here for Gakoi. So there we go. Oh wow, Soviet Industry on the roster as a potential. We've also got Armoured Assault Tactics and Guard Motor Coordination Tactics. Wow. In my head, I don't know if it's just me, but he is always like my go-to most vanilla Soviet commander. Like if I actually am hungover and I just need to play the game on autopilot, I usually go for this guy because I'm just so used to playing as him with Soviets. So anyway, yeah, it looks like these two players are going to see what they can get done out on the map right now. These Assault Grenadiers horribly outnumbered. Going to try and make a stand here. Grenadiers going to make it into cover here to support them. Meanwhile, in the west, we've got exchanges here between units in cover, conscripts in the open, conscripts taking points here and there, and difficult to say exactly who's going to come out ahead. It's safe to say over here on the in the eastern flank, it is definitely going to be an Allied victory. Flammenwerfer coming up early on these engineers here, and that's going to enable them to shift these assault grenadiers without so much hassle here. So we're going to have to see what the next choice is going to be here for Staubsauger. You have to think it's probably going to be some kind of a MG42, perhaps. I can't really see a sniper. What did he just spend all his money on? Oh, okay, he spent his money on a bunker. Okay, looks like he's going to build the medic bunker because these guys are so wounded. That's going to leave him off the front line for some time, though. This is suboptimal. That must be a really painful choice for Staubsauger. Staubsauger. Goodness me. Quite a mouthful there. So, yeah, it looks like for now, early field dominance going to be going to the Allied player. Not uncommon when we see Soviets versus Wehrmacht. Going to be grabbing 2 of the VPs and trying to grab perhaps a cutoff, say. Actually, is there a cutoff on this map? Not as such. Oh, kind of. Yeah, so he does get a cutoff right here. Oh, man, this is what happens when you take, like, more than a year off from casting. Like, your game knowledge, your camera skills, your casting skills, all severely atrophied right now, but I'm doing my best. As I pause for a sip on my drink. And, yeah, these Grenadiers gonna give a good account of themselves, but horrendously outnumbered. Just gonna keep cycling through the conscript squads here as Gakoi, bringing them on in. And a lot of the Axis units are just still coming out of the base or moving out from being healed. We do have the Leichte Mechanized Company, so going for all of his tech buildings right now. Sorry, I'm just trying to like figure out. It's been so long since I played. I can't remember how you actually check the building costs for these things. Ah, here we go. So the infantry company costs 10 fuel and 80. I feel like that's a lot less. 20 fuel and 200. Yeah, these have had their costs reduced, right? That just seemed a lot easier to build. Support armor core, now just 15 fuel and 140. Wow, they've had their costs heavily reduced. Man, Wehrmacht tech tree has finally been opened up. There's fresh oxygen in terms of reduced costs being passed around the Wehrmacht camp at the moment. God, that's so cool. Wow, I feel like the Wehrmacht tech tree has been blown wide open, and Wehrmacht was always a faction that felt like they had it all, as long as you could make the right choices. But those choices were so costly that actually the right choice was usually just going for a commander with the Tiger Doctrine and skipping all tech pretty much beyond like the Mechanized Company, sometimes the Support Armor Corps. So it's really nice to see those units, those tech choices, those branches of the Wehrmacht tree feel like they're actually alive again. Also, I saw a game with an Ostwind in it the other day. My god, that unit's been buffed. Like, the rate of fire is just like, woof. It's like, it feels like it comes out of Vet 2, and then when you get to Vet 2, it's like whole new levels of Ostwind that we didn't know existed before. So yeah, really excited to see that. Anyway, as you can see, we've got a 220 scout car on the field here. Going to be using that autocannon to police the Soviet infantry, as is its job in this early game stage. And that it should be doing. I imagine we'll see it transition a little towards the east here. Yep, there we go. And he's actually going to catch a number of Soviet squads in the open here. Anti-tank vehicle grenade has been researched though, so this 222 can fall foul of these conscript squads if they're able to close ground on it. But it looks like he's going to kite very nicely here, catching them in a bit of negative cover here. Need to keep moving though. Ura going to come down, enabling those conscripts to try and pursue the scout car, but it's all for naught. The micro is there for DerStrandStaubSauger. So why do I keep trying to say his full name? So yeah, that's going to work out in the favor of the Axis player here. The scout car just continuing to maintain good spacing from the Soviet units, not doing much damage, and he's actually going to just leave them to it now, which I think I would have liked him to back into them again once they started falling back. Just continue firing, just keep that spacing on the Soviet units. Got some TM-35 mines coming down in a really nice position. I wouldn't be surprised to see the 222 fall foul of these later on in the game. Axis forces for now going unchecked in the west of map. Going to be grabbing a VP and a number of other points. Fuel point now connected for our Axis player, so we'll be standing him in good stead as this game moves forward here. Still no commander choice from the Soviet player. Going to leave himself that option here.
We have an isolated sector.
And if I correct attack here, you can see actually pretty much all of the Soviet units either at home idle or over here in the east of map. So that's pretty good. This 222 getting close to these mines. I don't think there is a metal detector out here for our Axis player. There is not. Wow, the mines. How did he know? Did he see them getting planted or? Huh. Well, he knew that the mines were there, and he's going to take them out with an attack round there from the 222. But coming in here for a double AT grenade, I think he thought this is just one squad of conscripts because the flags are so far apart. These conscripts somehow getting super dissociated. But he's going to bite 2 AT grenades there. Ura coming down. The cooldown on the AT grenade still not even half done, and there comes a grenade barrage that's going to force these conscripts to move. I think that this 222 ought to be able to escape safely here. Yeah, it is, yeah. So Sauger here going to cover the retreat of the 222 with the assault grenadiers. Very nicely done there. Biting off more AT grenades than he thought he was going to chew there, but able to get out. Going to repair that with the pioneers, I would have thought. And looks like we've got a T70 on the field, so actually scratch all that. There's no hard AT on the field right now. Faust's, of course, not an option on assault grenadiers. MG42 also not very good against light tanks. The T70 comes in. He's hungry for this 222. He knows it can't have gone far. The engine's busted on that thing. Going to fire a shot, and that's going to be an OCO, or as we like to call it, a one-hit KO. That's gonna redress. Whoa, hang on! Oh, he forgot to destroy it though. This is actually salvageable. Uh-oh. Are you going to go back and get it again? Oh, no. I think maybe he thought that was destroyed. Oh, well. I mean, if Sauger, goodness me, if Sauger was paying attention, he'll know that he can go and get that. Ooh, a Faust as well. Going to possibly tag the T-70. Nope. T-70 going to slip away. Axis forces, though, still just chewing up the west of the map here. And, it looks like a conscript wave going to be sent to deal with them. 3 squads of conscripts coming out here, and that is gonna bring action to the west of the map again for the first time in a little bit of time now. T-70 catches some grenadiers on the fallback. They are quite far from base actually, so some opportunity for damage to be done here. Flammenwerfer could contribute if he really was fishing for the squad wipe. Probably just going to let these guys go though, seems like a bit of an arse. Even gets a grenadier for his troubles there, so not so bad. Yeah, he's going to repair up this scout car. He knows it's there.
Enemy forces are neutralizing
Interesting
a sector.
times for sure. Always good to repair it before you hop straight in, especially if you get a moment to do so, like Sauger finds himself with.
The enemy has taken
Pack gun
our
here,
supply
coming out
sector.
for the Axis forces, so a hard AT option going to be here to police the T-70. That is going to be very nice. Will enable a Faust to possibly convert to a kill. Uh-oh, unless the pack gun gets caught in negative cover here. Yikes, this is ugly. Okay, he's actually going to get away with that pack gun. I don't know if Gakoi was watching, because if he was, I feel like he could have pounced on that AT gun, and that would have been utterly backbreaking. I mean, to pick up an AT gun with the T-70 at this juncture in the game will put your Axis player on the back foot for a couple of minutes to come, and that's the kind of window that can put you so far ahead in the mid game that you know, it can be game changing. But he's not going to get that, and that's fine. Means that this game is going to continue on relatively even footing. Though if I crack the tack, you can see our allied player is pushing hard, taking a lot of ground right now. Probably has the resource and advantage. Let's see now. Plus 48 and 23 munitions and fuel respectively over 26 and 16. So yeah, quite the resource differential right now that our allied player is enjoying. Combat in the west of the map here is the T-70. Going to transition over here, going to police back this Axis infantry that's looking to chew away at allied territory, and that it will do effectively. Pack gun, of course, slow, and looks like we're going to have we have a commander pick here for the Soviets. It's going to be Soviet Industry. Hooray! So that's really exciting. A commander that has been through many changes over her life, and well, I'm just keen to see what sort of shape she's in these days. Always been one of the more flavoursome commanders, one of those commanders whose impact you really do feel, so we're going to have to see if that's still the case. So she has options, so the KV-8 heavy flamethrower tank, which is always a joy to see. Who doesn't love that beast? She has the repair station, so that could be useful in the sort of mid and late game. She also has access to the Allied supply drop, which we've just seen. A cargo plane will deliver fuel to the target location, varying in amount based on availability. The cargo plane is highly vulnerable to AA units. The vehicle crew repairs is an option there, and the KV-2 heavy assault tank, basically the StarCraft 2 siege tank only in World War II. So yeah, an interesting roster of units. We'll have to see which of those are used as this game goes on and how they're going to alter the course of the game. We do have a ZIS divisional field gun coming up for Gakoi. Going to be investing in some prophylactic anti-tank support here in anticipation of an upcoming Stug or Panzer IV, which, or even an Ostwind, which we could see. Let's check the tech for our Axis player here. Battle Phase 2 finishing, so we can expect the support armor core to be coming up here momentarily. I believe some Pioneers were just... Oh no, yeah, here they are. Here comes some Pioneers. Just to build that building. And then we're going to have a tech choice out of our Axis player, who actually doesn't have very much fuel. So I say that, we're probably not going to see a heavy, like a tank choice from him for some time, actually. So it's safe to say, I reckon, this game definitely going Gakoi's way. Healthy ticket lead, of course, 160 odd tickets. Going to be favouring our allied player here. And yeah, just a nice navigation of the early game. Has put him into a great position here. So we're going to have to see what Sauger can do here. Squad of assault grenadiers does fall foul of, looks like, some mines here. But that's not the end of the world, and they are uncontested more or less in the west, so unless Gakoi is going to be able to task some forces over into the west, that is going to help Sauger with redressing the scoreline and the resource imbalance that he's been under for so long. 222 still out here, I would say doing work, but it's only killed 3 infantry this game, which against USSR is not the most impressive tally. Ooh, what was that? Oh, this field gun finds itself in a good position here. The 222 not responding promptly enough, and that will be a dead 222. No two ways about that. Stationary target, stationary fire, boom-a-dee boom-boom, that's a dead car. So gets taken out for the second time, pretty much. And yeah, Soviet forces here looking resurgent, going to be pushing forward. They have east, they pretty much have everything they want in mid. The only thing going Sauger's way is west. And I'm pretty sure that we'll see the T-70 transition into that area of the map here momentarily. It's just taking a moment here to chill. Has 1 star of veterancy, nearly 2 stars actually, so that T-70 has been pretty cool. And we've got a heavy flamethrower tank on the build queue, that's right. So if we come back to the Soviet players' base, we can see we've had the Tank of the Battalion Command and indeed the Mechanized Armor Campanile built in short order here for Gakoi, enabling him access to the big toys. And yeah, we do see the KV-8 coming on. And gotta be honest, look at the top left here and tell me which unit the KV-8 doesn't kill in a heartbeat. It's like, seems like a good choice. So yeah, this KV-8 is going to be hard to deal with. That pack gun is just going to die horribly. You have to feel, barring a really special engagement. I mean, okay, if the KV-8 hits some mines or gets Fausted, has the engine broke, and then gets stalked down by the Pack 40, yeah, okay, we might have a conversation about how this game starts looking okay for the Axis player. But you know, it is Gakoi holding all the cards here, and we've just got to see how he's going to play them. Investing conscript forces right now in trying to retake west of map, as he has to do. Definitely good to contest this area of the map and not just let Sauger have anything for free. When your opponent is down, Company of Heroes 2, this is not a game of gentlemen. When your opponent is down, you definitely kick them until they are dead. If I've learned anything from Company of Heroes 2, it's that when your opponent's down, you don't stop kicking them until they are dead. So that's what Gakoi is going to be doing here. Now, Faust does connect onto the T-70. The Pack 40 is in the hood, so you have to think this is a dead light tank. We're going to see one more shot, and that ought to do for the light tank. Wow, it actually... Okay, there we go. Is going to get taken out, so there we have it. KV-8 going to make its presence known on the front line here. Comes crushing in, causing an immediate fallback on a squad of Grenadiers. Let's see if he can get the squad wipe here. There's going to be a Faust coming down here, which may not break the engine first hit. Oh wow, this KV-8 coming in deep, so deep. Oh no, he's going to make it to the spawn point. Oh god, this is rough now because like the Axis units are falling back here. Once that flame turret realigns. Oh no, well the Pack 40's here and so is a Faust. We've got an engine damage, so this could be the end. That looks pretty gnarly. This could be the end for the KV-8 though. It's going to limp away. Wow, super risky plays there. A Stug is going to be on the queue here. That's going to be the, looks like the regular Stug. Oh yeah, sorry, of course, he doesn't have the Stug E. So yeah, going to be the regular Stug on the queue here. I like the choice. It's cheap, it's flexible, and it will answer a KV-8. So this is really nice. Actually, I think this is a very intelligent choice from our Axis player, so that's nice. The KV-8 is going to fall back and try and find somewhere where it can repair. That was a whisker away from being like a GG moment there from our Axis player. Normally when there's a KV-8 next to loads of wounded and retreating Axis infantry in the base adjacent to the fallback point, that is usually dire times for the Axis player. But a Faust in the nick of time and a Pack 40 there gonna force the KV-8 back. Repairs are gonna come through though, and so we basically have not necessarily an even game. I think that the Axis player is still ahead, but once this Stug moves onto the field and finds a position, which it is just moving out now, yeah, this game could be this game is definitely alive. This is definitely anyone's game. The scoreline, though, increasingly becoming a concern for the Axis player. He's grabbing 2 of the VPs now, though, so he is not ignorant of his plight. He's doing everything he can to try and fight that point. And there's the Stug. So, okay, the KV-8 makes his presence felt again. Going to start burninating even more of the countryside. Another KV-8? Sure. I don't even hate that choice. He's got 2 Zis guns, so I think 2 KV-8s is actually fine. The Stug's going to reveal itself, immediately gets an AT vehicle grenade, so a bit reckless there from our Axis player. He's not even going to get a shot on this KV-8. That's unfortunate. 2 pack guns and a Stug, nothing to sniff at. That can kill a KV-8 very quickly, so they're playing with real weapons. Both of these players have the tools they need to defeat their opponent's key units very quickly. So there's going to be a fight or series of fights, an engagement coming up here, I would say in the next 2 or 3 minutes, where we see... Whoa, he cancels the KV-8. Just thinks better of getting the KV-8 there. So... he's seen the Stug now. Ooh, oh my god, my mouse. Okay, so he's seen the Stug now, so I wonder if he's... I wonder what his thinking is here. He is feeding veterancy onto that Stug a bit. He needs to stop committing this KV-8 now. And, yeah, interesting. So, I'm still wondering about what he's cancelled this KV-8 for. Normally if you make a cancel, it's because you had another idea in mind, and I wouldn't hate an SU-85 right now. It answers the Stug handily and will be a great investment throughout the rest of the mid-game and the late game if you can keep it alive. The SU-85, of course, a really good answer to Axis problem units, their armour. KV-8 going to limp on back to this repair station, which of course has been built here to support the Soviet armour. So what are you saving for? Are you just waiting for a KV-2? That's going to be a long time. So I'm not quite sure what Gakoi's plan here is. Okay, there goes the fuel spent. Just going to restart that KV-8. I mean, you don't have to be an RTS veteran to know that, like, spending a lot of time and resources on a unit, then cancelling it just before the construction time is done, then restarting it, does not appear optimal. So I'd be curious as to what Gakoi's thought processes were here. I don't know if I missed something obvious there.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
So, I mean, there are kind of mixed scuffles going up and down the line here. Nothing's super committed, and if I crack attack, you can see the Axis position very compacted. Allies in firm control of the 3 victory points. So, if Gakoi can hold this line here, he is going to be in good stead. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to, though, actually. Axis forces resurgent along the front. You can see Allied forces still on their way to the front or falling back. So, I imagine he's going to lose at least 1, maybe 2 of these victory points in the next minute or so here as Gakoi. So yeah, Sauger doing what he needs to keep himself alive here. The second KV-8 is out. The first KV-8 has a Star of Veterancy, so this is scary stuff. These are units that have very high lethality. And there's still basically just a Stug. I mean, there's 2 pack guns as well, which are very real threats to the KV-8s, but the KV-8s, if they get a flank, those pack guns are just gone. So this whole game is hanging on a fight involving these KV-8s and the anti-tank resources of Sauger. And he's going to set up the pack guns in a lovely position. Does take out the forward repair station. How much do those cost? Man, I don't know how you build up the... okay, here we go. They cost 125 manpower, 45 munition. Okay, so not the most expensive thing in the world. KV-8 coming in super deep here, gets hit by a Faust. Main gun destroyed, and there's so many AT resources here that is going to be a dead KV-8 for Shao. The Stug here gaining a lot of veterancy here, which is lovely to see if you're an Axis fan. Now here comes the second KV-8. Picks up one of the pack guns. He's going to come in. This is so risky. Where's the Grenadiers? He takes 1 Faust, but it wasn't on low enough health. The Zis gun is chipping in from somewhere. 2 Zis guns, Stug in severe jeopardy right now. He's going to get behind this building, so nice positioning there. And it looks like the second KV-8 is going to be able to get... Actually, this is the first KV-8, but the remaining KV-8 going to be able to exfiltrate safely for now. Cops a Faust on the way out. And the Stug coming back into hunt. Wow, the Zis guns were also caught with the wrong alignment. Okay, there's going to be 2 shots here. That could be a dead Stug. 1. No, only 1 shot comes through. Wow. And now this Stug can hunt the KV-8. Wow. That should be a dead... Oh, he switches the gun type and the KV-8 gets the reverse kill. Wow, I was going to say he should switch the gun type, and Gakoi cognizant of that. And now with the loss of the Stug. Wow, and another Stug being picked. That's so hard for the Axis player. Oh, you hate to see that for the Axis player, really. Okay, well, this game feels really hard now. I mean, I think building another Stug is only worth it if you actually have a Stug alive, because 2 Stugs, yeah, I can see you getting something done with that. 1 Stug, and now with 1 pack gun. 1 Stug with 2 pack guns I don't think was enough to handle the situation. 1 Stug with 1 pack gun is ugly. I think I like at this point just building more pack guns, trying to do what you can against these KV-8s, maybe even going for some Panzer Grenadiers with Shreks, although I see he doesn't have the munitions for that, but... I just think I like trying to save the fuel for a Panther at this point. I guess he doesn't even have the tech, and he feels like he needs an answer right now, and he's not necessarily wrong, so I guess he is forced into this Stug. Wow, I feel like that was a pivotal moment in the game, though, where if he was able to hang on to that Stug and finish off that KV-8, and he looks so good. But, you know, that fight that I was hinting at where all the AT resources would fight the KV-8s here, well, that just happened, and it came out in the Allies' favour. Now we still have 2 KV-8s. Another one gets rebuilt. And we're just going to see a lot of burning Germans here as the KV-8s roll through it into the base. Fearless, actually. Going to roastinate this pack gun in short order. There we go. No Fausts in the hood, so that is just... Okay, a Faust does come through, but that is a pretty... I think that KV-2 should be able to get out just fine. The German base is burning. The map actually at parity as far as VPs go, so he's not bleeding out on tickets, but oh god, this is a rough situation. Man, if he loses this Stug, it's actually game over. Oh wow, this is so tough. Well, he has a few units out on the map here, DerStrandStaubSauger, so he's going to try and get something done over here in the east, which is great. He's got some he's got an MG42 here. I'd love for that to just get in the building, but apart from that, you know, this is all fine as well. So Sauger doing what he can do from this underdog position, but make no mistake, he is the dog right now, and that is tough. Pat gun going to get destroyed by Zis guns here. Very sensible stuff from Gakoi, who is leveraging his lead very well here. Conscript's going to be encountering resistance as they try to retake the east of the map, but the KV-2 is just able to cleave through and just wreak a path of destruction as they go. That is, I mean, that's why you buy KV-2s, it's what they do. The Stug here going to risk it and come on out without being fully repaired, so one mine or one AT grenade going to be bad news for this Stug. But he's putting some damage on the KV-2, gets a Star of Veterancy. I think he needs to fall back, bro. Oh my god. What are you doing with this Stug, man? Get out of there! Where is this? Oh no, okay, so this is an overextension. Like a massive overextension. The Stug's going to get shot up by Zis guns here. Oh, he gets it behind the building. The engine gets blown. But this might not be too bad if he can continue to screen it. The Zis guns can't actually get shots on this Stug, so somehow this Stug is going to limp away. That was quite the overextension though from Sauger, and he is lucky to escape with this Stug, like lucky. And if he lost that Stug, this game would be in a really rough spot for him. So, somehow actually, Sauger has actually broken a lot of the Allied infantry. The KV-8s are both in need of repairs, so that's what's happening right now. Additional supply drops though coming in. This Soviet industry doctrine looking kind of cool right now. How much was that? It's 100 munitions for the supply drop, so he is flatlining on munitions right now. He's actually going to build vehicle repair bases, stations in his base in this position, which I really like. Obviously that's going to be a good position for repairing vehicles where they're screened by this vegetation here. So yeah, very nice. He's got another vehicle repair station here, so tons of repairs actually going down. And yeah, those KV-8s are going to be... Whoa, my mouse is so glitchy. It's going to be back on the front in very short order. The Soviet infantry all reinforced. We've even got a tube added onto the composition here. An 82mm tube. How are you building these? Isn't that the big mortar? Oh, no, that's the regular mortar. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, I thought for a second that was the 120mm tube. It's not. And yeah, everything coming up roses right now for the Soviet player, who actually, though, has no resources, has no troops in west. So Axis forces are able to at least maintain the hold over the west. There's a fuel point and a VP that's going really good for them. 144 tickets under 423 though. Sauger in a bad way, but has 2 out of the 3 VPs right now, so that's not too bad. So we're at the stage in the game now where a KV-2 could be real. Coming up to, in about a minute's time, the Soviet player will have the fuel for that unit, and if Gakoi decides to keep stacking manpower, I say go for it, man. The KV-2 is really scary. It will support this army really well. It has siege mode. This looks like a good map for a KV-2 on siege mode, and you have to think, if you're choosing Soviet industry, you have to have at the back of your mind the compatibility or like the suitability of the map for a KV-2. And if the KV-2 hasn't changed much since my day, then yeah, absolutely terrifying unit, used correctly, of course. So anyway, up to a double Stug now for our Axis player. Secondary Stug just moving out onto the field, and 2 Stugs with a pack gun. We're starting to have the beginnings of a decent sort of parity between these 2 forces. And you know what? Let's crack the tack. The Soviet player is getting forced back here. So Sauger doing everything he can and kind of coming back in this game. So that's nice. Whoa, this Stug just coming. Whoa! Okay, that Stug on a bad move command there, I feel like. Oh no. Oh god. Alright, well, for a split second this game looked like it was back to parity, but throwing away a Stug for absolutely free on a bad move command is rough. I mean, that Stug just drove straight into enemy lines and fed itself to death. So that's a shame. That's a blunder. That's a mistake there. from Sauger. That's unfortunate because now, I mean, he's been playing as the underdog for like, it feels like the last 15 minutes or so, maybe more, I don't know. And now he's just kind of put himself back in that position. So Gakoi here, Gakoi's army mostly reinforced and ready to fight, I want to say. Still no real presence in the west though. Just needs to lock down these victory points and just shove Sauger out the game, man. Just remember how to win. Don't get bogged down just taking fights and trying to beat your opponent. Just remember how to win, man. Just take these VPs, crush your allied opponent, whose composition is pretty inferior right now. Yeah, 1 Stug, just not enough. But 2-star veterancy on that Stug is important. Gets the armored skirts and an improved rate of fire. This is when Stugs start really kicking it. And now there's a pack gun here, so the KV-8s have to yield mid. 2 divisional field guns come forward though, which I like. Grenadiers are here to answer the field guns though. So now we have an interesting situation where the KV-8s are compelled to stay to cover the field guns, but the longer they stay, the more hits they're taking off of these anti-tank resources. So, a nice attempt there from Sauger, but it's just not enough. The KV flame tank, the KV-8, just enough to burninate back the Grenadiers. Without the Grenadiers, these units have to go. They have to go. Ooh, don't try and stay and fight here, Sauger. And he's not going to. Combat over here on the other flank. Looks like conscripts versus assault grenadiers. Whoa, those conscripts getting handily beaten. What the? Double fallback? Oh no, that was a mistake from Sauger as well. He won that fight and would have claimed that point, which he needs because he's in danger of bleeding out here. So probably a snap fallback there. He just clicked on this, saw conscripts on top of his wounded squad of assault grenadiers and flash fell them back, but as often you have to do to keep your squads alive in this game. But this time he had actually won that engagement, and you know, we can see as calm observers of this game that that was not the correct call, and it's going to cost him. That is unfortunate for Sauger there. Mortar tube here gets kind of caught in the open, but it's going to relocate just fine. KV-8 going to come in to cover it. I would love to see a KV-2 before this game is out. 630 manpower. Jeez, that is expensive. So, you know, if Gakoi did not spend any manpower, we'd be able to see one of those in about a minute or so in this game. So, we may still be able to see a KV-2 in this game. Let's hope that Sauger can stay alive long enough to see some sweet, sweet KV-2 shots taken. Oh man, these KV-8s are just so much to deal with. Any sign of a Schwerer Panzer HQ? Nope. I mean, not a, you know, a heavy Panzer Corps. The tier 3 building, but no sign of tier 3 here. For DerStrandStaubSauger. You know what, actually, he's floating a bit of fuel. I actually wouldn't hate him going for Escalate to Battle Phase 3 right now, because I feel like this whole game gets a lot better if he has a Panther. This map is big enough where the Panther's speed is a real factor, and of course the Panther would do work against these Soviet heavies. It's also a fine answer for a KV-2, which you have to be thinking at the back of your mind as an option for your opponent here. You have to have a plan for that late game KV-2, so... Yeah, I feel like having a Panther or moving towards a Panther is probably the right call right now. I don't think you can try and just stug this game out.
The enemy is taking what we have secured.
And Sauger has a moment here where he's not super desperate. So I would love... Oh, he can try and go for the... but he needs the heavy Panzer Corps to get the Tiger Ace anyway. So I think he should research Tech 3 right now and look to build a heavy Panzer Corps. He should also move out with his units, which... Obviously, this is just inefficient downtime, which is easy for me to be critical of and comment on, but there we go. He moves them out. I'm sure there wasn't many seconds wasted there. Grenade barrage going to come through here. Let's see if Gakoi is paying attention. Nope, apparently not. And that is going to hurt. The Stug and the 2 packs are going to try and hold mid here. May catch a KV-8 repairing. Punting debris around. The KV-2 is here! We did it, we got to the siege tank. If it's good enough to beat Zerg, it's good enough to beat Axis. Alright, so the KV-2 comes forward. Flum, massive shell deployed. There it is. What an intimidating sight that is. Just get a look at this thing. What a monster. Oh, and one of the KV-2s does go down though. Quite the anti-tank meat grinder here, but the other KV-2 gets on top. This is the 2-star KV-2. Oh! Sorry, KV-8. And oh, the KV-2 gets a flump into those two pack guns, which were clustered together, and that's going to be the end of both of those. Just the Stug now, the anti-tank hopes for the entire Axis nation, and that's going to be really tough here, because this KV-2 really doesn't care about a Stug. Oh, 3-star Stug, that's real nice, bro. Oh my god, it took the hit! Wow. Did not expect that. Okay, the KV-2 is going to pursue. This is risky. He's just pursuing into Fog of War with his most expensive tank right now, the KV-2. Oh my god, so risky. He really wants this Stug. I don't know about this. Okay, he does get the Stug. Now the other Stug is about to come onto the field. There it is, new Stug. He's going to get the KV-2 out unpunished. There were no mines, there was nothing else. And that is going to cause the GG. Yeah, I sympathise there. That was definitely the moment to concede, I feel. Or at least a fine moment to concede. Again, look at the top left. He's still got loads of veteran infantry alive. If you're playing for $1,000, absolutely. This is not a 0% to win game for the Axis side. But it's incredibly rough. You're being pressured by a lot of Soviet heavy armour, and you've just lost all of your anti-tank. And as we've seen throughout this game, one Stug is just not going to be enough. And that is all that Sauger would have had for the next few minutes in this game. So yeah, really rough. Using both of his, or losing both of his pack guns in mid to trade out for a KV-8. I mean, I get it. You really want to kill those KV-8s. They've been a nightmare for you the whole game. But unfortunately, in killing that KV-8, his pack guns got very clustered. And that left them easy prey for the veteran KV-8 and the finishing round from the KV-2. And that was pretty much the crushing blow that caused the GG. Once you lose all your AT, if your opponent still has multiple heavy tanks grinding around the battlefield, it can feel, or indeed just is, very hard to win. And yeah, Sauger here did his best, but going to choose that moment to GG. Now, there were a couple of mistakes that I picked up from Sauger, but nothing super backbreaking. I'm trying to remember which one. I think one of them cost... Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay, so the most egregious mistake was when he threw his Stug out into mid on a bad rally. And after he'd been playing as the underdog for so long, to throw away the only thing that was making the game sort of back to parity, that was really rough. Yeah, he'll be kicking himself over that, but we all make these mistakes from time to time. It is understandable. There's only so critical I can be as an observer here, and yeah, I think that was probably the final nail in the coffin, really. I mean, the final engagement with these two pack guns was definitely when the game ended, but I think the best chance for Sauger to come back was when he had those two Stugs for a moment and threw that one away. Soviet Windustry, man. Still strong. Please nerf. Just kidding, but wow. I mean, it's just good to see the Doctrine pull some weight here. And I mean, I think all parts of it were useful. The Allied supply drops were flying over through that game. The KV-8s were dominating from the early mid onwards. The repair stations. I mean, I don't know if they were actually efficient versus just using engineers and having engineers on hand. But I mean, they were definitely on the map doing their thing. The KV-2 was... It was a KV-2, and I mean, okay, it didn't do much damage this game, but it was essentially, it provided a reason for your opponent to leave the game, and sometimes that's enough. So yeah, an interesting game between these two players. Thank you very much for watching, and this for now is Magpie842 signing out.